All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Well, today it's actually just going to be me with you guys today. Monica's a little bit busy this morning, so um, it's just going to be me and you. I see we got Super Sam in the chat. We got Jason. We got Martin. $2. Happy Friday. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. We got Spitfire MK. We got Jax. We got Super Sam. So let's go, Wick. Have a good one to kick off our crazy Friday. Bryce and Matt are inspired and us by your guidance, wisdom, and guidance. I love that. And then Wick Tickler instantly comes into the chat and says, "My wife is mad at me for introducing her as my second favorite thing after Matt and Bryce. She hasn't made eye contact with me all week." Well, listen, Wick Tickler, I'm not going to sit here and say you're right. Don't show this to your wife, of course, but you're not wrong. That's awesome. Good morning, friends. Let's get this. Jax is not happy. Jax is not happy that Monaco's gone. Unfortunately, listen, I'm not either. He'll be back here on Monday, I'd have to imagine. But we're going to be doing the same thing that we always do. We're going to be getting our eyes in front of the best stocks and really keeping it simple. So I'm going to go through our game plan here, at least my game plan for the morning. Listen, it's a Friday. Things can get fun, but I also, you guys, I'm going to sound like a broken record here. I do not want to be overly aggressive for no reason. All right. I want to make sure that I'm waiting for the best of the best trades and just keeping it simple today. You know, it's a Friday. I've had a good week. I don't want to go too crazy. You know, if a good setup presents itself, great. If not, so be it. Yesterday, I felt like I was pushing a little bit too many buttons. I ended the day basically break even. I lost $40. All said and done, I just chopped up and down, up and down. So it wasn't even too bad. There just wasn't a ton yesterday after the open. DVLT was great, and I took a couple extra trades after that. So just a break even day. After days like that, I find that I can get kind of antsy sometimes, and I don't want to get antsy today. Let me make sure we got that perfect. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. Today we're going to go over some of my top charts rather. So this is one I just want to watch for fun. This is something I probably won't actually trade. FOFO. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like a Chinese IPO. Either that or a ticker change, but this looks more like an IPO. It's up like 1,000% on air. These can get kind of fun sometimes. I think it was DGNX maybe that did something similar to this. They do a reverse split. Yeah, they ticker change or something. I don't really know exactly what happened. Enter strategic. I don't know. 8-to-1 stock split. Okay. Yeah, so this was like a higher price stock, but it went from like 5 cents to like $2.50. It looks very similar to FOFO, where it just could get really strange. It just grinded up. It was very clearly a pump. Then they did some kind of stock split here. So nothing. Anyways, I'm saying that's kind of what FOFO reminds me of. I just like watching these. They can be kind of fun. These are ones that I really don't want to touch, but I always like to try to learn from them. It's BIYA. A little bit of a spike here. Keep an eye on it. See if it turns into anything. So keep an eye on that for fun. BETR. This one I'm excited about. This one's got me a little bit excited for some potential fun. Yeah, so BETR, listen, we were talking about this the other day. I've got two computers right now, so I'm going to be going back and forth a little bit, by the way. BETR, this is that Eric Johnson or whatever his name is, the guy who's pumping open his recent pump. And the reason I like this one is because relatively speaking, I'm not going to sit here and say it's perfect, but relatively speaking, it's holding up. So this is the day that the guy who's pumping open is like, I've got the next 100 bagger, right? And what he was saying is like just a massive runner. Well, he pumps it from 34 up to, basically $100. Next 2 days, we consolidate. Yesterday, I was eyeing this for a breakout that unfortunately never came. What we got was a breakdown. Now, the reason I like this so much, if we kind of go over to CPOP from yesterday, we were talking about this daily chart. Did an offering this morning. Pardon me. we kind of had that same idea here on CPOP, right? Where daily chart consolidates, breaks down, then we have this big green day. It's just that idea of a fake breakdown that leads to a breakout. I want to see if we can get something like that on BETR. Not the most liquid thing, but it's not that bad either relative to the volume, or relative to the price of the stock, rather. It's like a $50, $60 stock trading a few million shares a day. Definitely something I'll keep an eye on, but not something. The spread gets kind of wide on this, so not something I can slap with a ton of size. Yeah, CJET as well. CJET is a one of these China companies, sub-dollar stock. It's okay. The daily chart is okay. It's not my favorite. I also don't love sub-dollar stocks all that much, but looks like some of the China names are coming back a little bit here. CJET's formed some pretty nice support here at 15 cents. Got a little bit of a multi-day trend break playing out in front of us right now. So again, something I'm keeping an eye on. Honestly, though, the one that I like more if I'm looking at sub-dollar China stocks is going to be ORIS, ORIS. This one, it's definitely got a nicer daily chart, definitely a nicer potential for a breakout. We do have a lot of resistance here. I'd say realistically, this kind of 33-cent level is going to be our first main key level. Then we've got up to kind of 40 up here, that breakout level. But we're holding these levels fine. It's trading a lot of volume still. Overall, holding up well. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on it. Again, I don't want to go and slap anything really quick. I'm going to pull up one more that we're going to talk about here. A little bit of a fun idea. So yeah, ORIS, not bad. WAI, listen, I've already seen a comment or two about this. Not my favorite, right? Main reason, let me turn off my other chats. There we go. When they make this big of a run, right, in pre-market, and then they fade, is Matt and I like to say, these stocks now just have a lot of glass walls they need to get through. So I mean, at this point, we've got pretty key former support that's turned to that'll likely turn to resistance here to about 530. We got more at 6, then we've got more at 650. So this isn't to say it can't run. Certainly not going to sit here and say that it's impossible for this thing to run. But the odds of it running were pretty far under VWAP here. VWAP's at $6.30. I don't see this being likely. Probably my favorite watch of today is LAC first red day. Now, again, we don't really short much on here, and I certainly am not going to sit here and say that this is like an A+ idea. It's just a massive move for a large cap. We're kind of breaking down under this multi-day trend line here. We're going red officially today. I mean, this stock's up from $3 to $8.50, and this is a nearly $2 billion company that we're talking about. So that's a very large move. It doubled in size in 3 days. You know, the thing is, I don't think it's ran quite enough in terms of days that it ran to make a massive down move today, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it for a first red day into pops. I'd love to see a fake break of 725 and then slam down to, like, 650, 625, that area. But we'll be keeping our eyes on these stocks here. This will probably be my main watch, that and BETR today. BETR, again, it takes some time here. It needs some time to actually go and do this. We're kind of near that very key previous support level here. Market is officially open. So yeah, LAC will be my main watch for now. I'll be keeping an eye on BETR. If we start breaking over like $60, be keeping a very close eye on it. So let's let the best trades come to us. If there's not really anything too special right now, then guess what? There's not anything too special, and it's fine. PSTV, do not tell me we're back. Oh God, I can't touch that. I cannot touch that stock. I hate day 2 stocks. Hate them. There's nothing about them I like. So like I said, going to be keeping a close eye here on LAC for a few minutes. Now, unlike Matt, I don't have this special ability to really talk and look at stock slash trade at the same time. So you're probably gonna hear me go quiet a few times here. Um, let's get back to our multi-day charts on ORIS and CJET. CJET, that is a nice looking gap up, I will say. Let's get VWAP up here as well. LAC, that's kind of exactly what I was looking for, that breakout through 725. We'll see if this tries to hold. So far, not so much. Again, I do expect this to be a pretty key level today. I think realistically, if we start pushing past like yesterday's high a day around 750, this idea would pretty much be a dud. I would not want to see a true break and hold of that 750 level. BETR, let's move. I like what Matt does, moving kind of the best stocks up to the front. We definitely don't need FOFO in the front. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, WAI, nothing there. CJET even not really doing a whole lot. BETR, again, just kind of low volume right now. Really needs to start consolidating for me to really get interested in this. For now, I'm going to keep my eye on LAC. Like I said, I want to just kind of keep tabs on what this thing's doing. Really aggressive push out of the gates there. And like I said, kind of ideal scenarios, it's holding under yesterday's high a day, which was kind of the intraday high. It's made bigger moves pre-market and after hours that it could not break over. See, where's our BETR? I think these are going to turn into the main two watches for me today, almost undoubtedly. BIYA. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're taking that off the screen. LRIS, just not getting volume. CJET looking like crap. And I know some of you guys might be wondering, what about DVLT? Isn't this thing nice? That dip yesterday it went from $1.05 down to $6. It fell 40% in 2 minutes on volume. That scares the crap out of me. I do not want to be in a chart that looks anything even remotely like that. So, personally, I am going to be avoiding that all day long, unless we start really proving. It would have to just be such a big change in trend, in the way that it looks. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm certainly not saying that that's something that excites me, if that makes sense. Anyway, I had a nice little gap up too. That could be a little dip and rip here. Daily chart is a little bit extended, but not terrible. It's up 500%, Do you think that is probably worthy of being at least up here a little bit with some of these better movers? BETR, just not enough volume yet. LAC, it is holding under that 750 level for the time being. but definitely not what you would like to see on a first red day. I'll be the first person to admit. Generally speaking, on a first red day, you just want to see it flush. Now, we'll see. I mean, it held under the key levels, but if we start breaking over there, to me, that indicates this probably is not ready for a real first red day quite yet. What I would ideally, if I'm going to short a first red day like this, what I want to see is this have a clean break under our key now intraday support levels. First here, kind of at VWAP 720, and then another low a day break, and kind of see what those holds look like. Are they very clearly fake breakdowns that try to pop back up, or are they like real, true hard flushes that try to bounce back and show signs of weakness? Again, a lot of the way that I trade is largely based on just seeing how the stock moves. It's reaction based. It's not trying to predict what the stock is going to do. It's instead waiting, letting that stock do what it's going to do, and then try to react accordingly to that price action. But it's all based on the idea of a bigger picture pattern. See, like so far, we want to see how this flush under that key support level holds. I'm not expecting it to necessarily just in the instant that it dumps down, just completely crack. But I want to see, are we going to hold around this area? Are we instantly going to snap back to 735 and then stay sideways up here? That would be a sign of a lot of strength for this chart. The good news is it's set a pretty good risk level now. If I do decide to take a short here around 750, 748, I think that is that high. Yeah, 748. Gets back over there after a fake breakdown. No, thank you. Holding around that level for now. That's a good sign. I don't always need to be the first into these trades. By the way, no need to be a hero. I like to let it prove itself and then pop, or, in the case of something like DVLT yesterday, right? Same story. Even though DVLT I traded yesterday, probably won't trade today. Waited for that first. I wasn't the first to buy. I was waiting for that consolidation period, right? BETR, hold on. This is looking a little saucy. If I can find it, here we are. Nice little consolidation here. I don't love just buying these types of high day breaks. I'll be the first person to say that it's not necessarily my favorite way to take these. Oh, and look at Fofo. It's Fofo ulted up. I said I want to watch this just for some fun. Oh, yeah. I mean, on no volume either. The unhalt level is showing 3750. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. All right, BETR. This would be better. If we can get a little breakdown to like 59 and then curl back through this, $60 and whatever it is, 80-cent high, that would be quite nice. That would be something I would be considering buying. And LAC, that's see, this is not something I'd want to see, right? A little fake breakdown of that key support, and we can't hold the breakdown. Now, I will say, right, as I like going through my thought process as I'm going into a trade, or as I'm looking at a stock, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm thinking in the moment. We are still holding red, right? So again, with a first red day type of chart, even though it's not breaking down under the key support levels quite yet, we are still holding red at this point. We're holding under 748. So I'm going to at least keep my eye on it. I'm going to at least see how this thing continues to act. But I'm not loving the fact that it couldn't have a sustained breakdown. Volume isn't really increasing either. I mean, our biggest volume candle was the opening print, so that's going to be probably a lot of support. One second, ladies and gents. Beautiful. Larry Boyd made $500 on DVLT this morning. I wish I had my gong here. I'd hit the gong for you, but alas, I don't have the gong on me. So instead, you are going to get the Rubik's Cube twist. You just got the Rubik's Cube twist as a congratulations. LAC is looking quite nice. We just got a nice drop down here. But again, a lot of support at this 705, this low day area. So going to take that for what it's worth. Keep that in mind. BETR, nice little fake, well, possibly fake breakdown. We'll know if it's a fake breakdown, if it can recurl through 6081. Again, there's a lot of resistance on this thing, unfortunately. We go up to like a 3-minute chart. You can take after hours off. You can see it a little bit cleaner. Right. I mean, we got a lot of resistance here, so I don't expect this to be necessarily an easy trade. It's probably going to be something that, if it works, it's going to require some patience. But alas, we will see. CJET doing anything? Not really. ORIS, literally nothing. No movement on ORIS. Probably worth taking that one off. WAI, nothing. DVLT, is this dipping a bit? Yeah, a little bit. See if this holds. Now, to be fair, I don't like this chart because of yesterday's action at the end of the day there. But for traders who are bullish on this, right, this is probably the type of dip that they'd want to look to start in on. You've got a bit of pre-market support at $1.05, right? A bit of pre-market support there. We got our low a day around $1.14. So decent risk levels, and that low a day, by the way, basically bottomed out perfectly at pre-market resistance, that kind of 113 to 115 level. So it's not probably the worst spot for traders who are very bullish on it. NUAI, nice little curl there. Yeah, that's the NUAI, not really my favorite. It's just, I feel like the main move has kind of already been happening. But today could be the day we get a parabolic squeeze. Again, I'll let these trades prove themselves to me first. BETR. If we start popping through $60.80, I will probably look to take a bit there. Spread's just wide on it, right? So I'd have to be pretty comfortable, I'd say realistically, risking low a day, because I think the spread itself could stop me out. LAC, okay, now I am liking this a little bit for a short bias perspective. Again, we're not really under our low a day yet, right? But while we do keep trying to break down, we also can't bounce that well, right? For I like to keep that in the back of my mind too. It can't it can't bounce off of this kind of key support area. In a way, it feels very 50-50 at the moment. It's trying to decide what it wants to do, but I would argue the daily chart probably leans a little bit more to the bearish side. Fofo, I just want to see where this thing opens. I just want to see, where does this thing open? And it's a 10-minute halt. It's a double halt. Wow. That's something special. LIC, this is going to be my main focus here for the day. Large cap, first red day. There you go. Yeah. So now that we're kind of starting to prove some signs of weakness, I'll probably look to take a little bit on a bounce into the 720s if we can get it. With just a risk on high a day. If it goes over high a day, I'm getting right on out of that thing. I'd have zero desire. That's a pretty aggressive flush. Pretty aggressive bounce back too. Got about 2 minutes left on Fofo. LAC, we are right near low a day. Is Navini still going? Wow. Ooh. Hold on. We might have just found a chart. Navini. That's a little bit of a breakout right here. Through this 155. That's not bad. Trading okay volume today too. Again, keyword is okay volume, but not bad volume by any means. Trading a few 100,000 shares a minute. I don't like the setup quite yet. That's a nice little daily chart there, though. Move that up near the front as well. That's definitely, I think, worthy of a watch. BETR kind of starting to look like crap. Again, a lot of resistance there. Just not really the easiest trade. Yeah. Just can't do it. Well, that's why we're patient too, though, right? I mean, there's really no need to be the first. All right, let's see if Fofo unhalts at after this double halt here. Well, actually, let's watch LAC for now. Let's see if we get a low at daybreak. There's that low at daybreak on LAC. Let's see if we get some continuation. Again, at this point, I would not want to see the longer this takes to bounce. I shouldn't say the longer it takes to bounce back. And Fofo did unhalt. Up in the 37s. Low volume. Let's see if we can get a break of 7 on LAC here. Fofo. Go to 50. Go to 100. Just have some fun. Give us a Freaky Friday action. That's funny. Oh, BETR back. That's a nice wick. Wick Tickler must have touched that one. Must have blessed it. Again, all right. Now I'm a little bit more confident in this this 60-80 level. Especially because now it proved that low a day is probably a pretty good risk level. Should be. All right, LAC, this is that kind of bounce back that I'm looking for there. I took a little bit into that pop. I would love to see it up near VWAP, but really just, yeah, in a weak bounce back. We notice, see, like a lot of the wicks now, speaking of wick tickler, a lot of our wicks are a lot more to the upside than they are to the downside, right? We're not really wicking off of lows. It's wick up, flush down, wick up, flush down. Now, in something like this, I'm also not going to look to get too aggressive on a price target. Like, again, if we can get down into like the higher sixes, 670, 680, that's still to me a fine trade. Excuse me. It's not like I expect this thing to flush that far. We've got a ton of support around like 615, 630. I don't see this thing going back to like 4 or anything like that. But BETR, this is our multi-day. This is a 3-minute chart right here. So I'm going to be looking for that break of $60.80. See if we can get my man Eric, whatever his name, Eric Johnson or whoever he is, to come on, give us a good pump. Give us a good pump. It's Friday. Why isn't Eric all over this thing right now? Which I wonder if I think I'm fine to get rid of CJET now. That's no touch. DVLT, what did I say? That's not a bad spot if you're long bias on this for a dip. Oh, and BETR, we're at our 60-80 level. Be looking for a breakout, risking $58. So I mean, that's about $4 a share worth of risk. So again, got to take small size. I'm not trying to be a hero. Still can't break over that level quite yet. LAC couldn't break under 7. Oh, it's trying to, though. See, they just keep trying to bounce it. They just keep trying to bounce it, but they can't. Bounces are met with a lot of weakness. That's a good sign as a short. The same way that when, a stock tries to dip like DVLT and can't, it's a good sign. LAC looks like it's about to try to break under 7. BTR, not worthy of a watch quite yet, I don't think. LAC, starting to try to flush a little bit more aggressively. A little bit of a slower moving stock, which is to be expected. Large cap. FOFO holding its hold down level. Yeah, I just love watching these, man. These are just fun to watch. This is like it's like watching football. It's fun. We don't really know why. It's just fun to watch. A little bit of slow action. You know, football isn't always the fastest game, but it's brutal contact. I just feel like I get to watch a short getting squeezed out in slow motion on stocks like these, you know? Like, what idiot is shorting this thing with no volume and is just getting absolutely murdered? It's up too much. It's up 1,000%. It's not the biggest scam company ever. I don't think they care it's up 1,000%. These people are laughing. These people are laughing their way to the bank, giving their money to the CCP. They're like, boss, you won't believe this. We just got $3 million. We just liquidated somebody directly to the CCP. LAC couldn't really get too much breakdown there. Again, though, wicks are still more to the downs, or rather the, well, actually a little bit more to the downside there. We'll see. Again, at this point, I wouldn't want to see it over 730. I think we get over 730, and the idea of this first red day is probably a dud. Come on, Fofo. Squeeze them out. Squeeze out those idiots. What is the target you're looking for on BETR? Yeah, so if we broke through $60.80, to be completely honest with you, this would be like a YOLO trade for me. I wouldn't, not YOLO in the sense I'm just going to slap a ton of size and hope that it, hope that I make $1 million. More so that I would just want to see this have like a big move into the 70s. Because I had to risk $4 a share, or I guess $3 a share, right? This is not a this is not a trade that I would just want to like see at like 64. If this works, I want to see this thing over 70 because I got to risk $3 a share. So I'm not going to be taking big size on it, right? I'm just going to be taking very small size, letting this idea try to play out, hoping that we get some kind of Freaky Friday action. Yeah. Now, what I also like looking at on stocks like these are just kind of trend breaks. I mean, we're still under, we're not even breaking out of our trend yet. LAC, a little bit of a lower high so far. Fofo, come on. You can do it. You can do it. BETR, not looking great. Not looking great. Looks like we're about to probably break under that low there. LAC, very weak bounce attempt. Nice lower high. The good news with large caps is they just kind of tend to trend. Well, I guess it's more of a mid cap. Sorry, not large cap, but just like it's not a small cap stock. They just tend to trend, right? I'm sure at some point today, this will, if the short idea does, play out and we do kind of get like high to mid sixes, sure, at some point it reverses trend and it starts to grind back up. It had good news. It's a big company. It's not like it's not like this is a scam company. It seems anyways. Obviously anything can be a scam company. Remember Nikola, NKLA, that turned out to be a scam company and they were at one point a large cap stock. So I'm not talking long term, but I mean, like, it's got legitimate news. It's a slower moving stock. So this isn't something I expect to be like a pump and dump or anything. Fofo, come on. Don't break down. Have some fun. Give us something fun to watch today. Because right now, I don't have a whole lot on radar, a whole lot on scans. DFLI, yucky, like just not clean action. Also, way bigger downside moves than upside moves. That's something I like to look for a lot, right? Is one big up move, then most of the rest of them down moves grind up, high day rejection, slam, right? I don't like that personally. LAC, let's see if you can break lower. Again, like I said, I got a little bit from like 710 area. I never really got an ad there. I wanted a little bit higher. I wanted closer to VWAP, but I'll still try to let that idea play out if it can. PSTV, I guess I hate that. Grind up. I mean, it just looks so manipulated. Not my kind of chart. This is not something I'd be buying a high day break on. I'll tell you that right now. Navini, nice. I couldn't really take that, but nice move. DVLT going sideways a bit. Again, I just don't like the day. I don't like the that action yesterday scares the crap out of me. Like it might work, but I just don't want the I guess what you call that the tail risk, right? If it doesn't work, it could be really bad. Just based on what we saw yesterday. Fake breakout led to a 40% slam. Just the risk, if that doesn't go well, what are we looking at? How much downside are we looking at? That's what scares me a little bit. Yeah, definitely just a little bit of a slower day. What are you guys watching? AQST, surprised I haven't mentioned that. Why is that? Not gonna lie to you, I'm not surprised I haven't mentioned that. It's a 100 mil float. It's just not gonna move quickly. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. It's not the kind of mover that I am personally gonna be like, woohoo, wow, how fun does this look? It's just walking up. Like, that's fine. The good daily chart. I will say it's a good daily chart. It just looks like a real company. That's, I know you're like, but Bryce, LAC, I thought you said LAC is a real company. And yeah, that's true. But LAC, I believe, has a little bit more of a reason to move. I don't really know the news on this. It's a good daily chart, but it doesn't really trade a lot of volume ever. What's today's volume? It's only traded 3 million shares today, so it's not like it's trading massive volume. And on the days it does trade massive volume, it still barely moves, right? I mean, on this day right here, it's like biggest day, it went from 430 to 5. Like it ran 20% on its big day. So for me, that's just a total avoid. If it works, great, but I'm not going to be sitting here getting all excited over something like that. Yeah, just nothing that's screaming buy to me quite yet. Nothing that's like drawing me in. But you know what? Like I said, let's see. Yeah, no, I see a lot of you guys talk about AQMS. I'm not gonna lie, that's just not something I really care for. Again, I just also don't really trade those kinds of stocks, right? It's just not, I don't trade, generally speaking, those higher float stocks, unless it's got a real reason to move. And I saw someone said, it's weird, AQST released news yesterday and it's just reacting today. For a company of that size, I don't like that. That's weird. If for a bigger company, it should react to that news pretty damn quick. It shouldn't be a delayed reaction. Small caps a lot of times have delayed reaction news, but AQST or whatever that is, AQMS rather, that's moving its way into a mid-cap stock. It shouldn't have that delayed of reaction news. So that's kind of my thought there. LAC, kind of seeing, we're just slow move down, very predictable here. Everything I was saying, I mean, it kind of played out to a T, right? Like I said, it should hold under yesterday's highs. It did just that. So I had this kind of failed green move, consolidate around this area. I said I didn't want to see a big snapback from here. How it acted at this area was going to be pretty key. And that's exactly what happened. We saw big wicks to the upside and just no ability for it to really bounce. So, and at FOFO. FOFO is breaking high a day. Squeeze out the shorts. Squeeze them out. The halt levels are oddly tight on this too. The halt level to the upside right now, it's at $40.64. So I mean, if we go up like another $1.50 a share, we're looking at a potential halt. LAC, I covered a little bit more into that 69.5. Looks like a fake low of daybreak so far. So I'm not super loving it. Not McLovin that one too much, but now if we break under that low from here, this is going to be our second highest volume candle of the day. We break under there, we could expect to see potentially a bigger flush. Still nothing new hitting scans. MRM. Crap. PSTV, I can't touch that. DFly, crap. NUAI, failed high at daybreak. Just kind of yucky. Now, I will say, NUAI could actually get quite nice because if this turns into a scenario, generally speaking, right, a failed high at daybreak should lead to death. It's not. It's actually holding trend quite well. I'd say if we hold over like this 165 level and then break over 190, this could actually turn into quite a nice buy. A breakout of the fake breakout, right? That's where shorts tend to get pretty bent over because now a short seller, right, is thinking to themselves, it's a failed high at daybreak. Failed high at daybreaks are generally very bearish. And so if this tries to curl back around through 190, I would expect that breakout the same way, right? We were just talking about LAC. It's the same concept. I just said, if we break under the 694 now, I would expect to see a continued flush. This is our second highest volume candle of the day. It's a fake low of daybreak. So longs might be like, it's the bottom's in, but it's not able to break back out. That's a pretty weak sign. The same way, it literally just inverse. That NVNI looks decent, actually. Which stock were just NUAI. The same way that this failed high of daybreak isn't breaking down. Oh, and there we go, LAC. See, there's the flush. There's our flush, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's a much bigger range candle than we've been seeing on this stock. So that's, in my opinion, quite good. For the short side, there we go. Covered a little bit more there. But in the same exact concept that, that's what I was kind of expecting on LAC if we broke down. Very nice, LAC. Very nice. Oh, yes. Boom. Shaka Laka. Nice. I've covered all of it right there. That's beautiful. That's exactly, that's about as perfect as it gets. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yeah. Don't need much more than that, man. That's an easy trade. Planned out early this morning. And again, so this is that remember, right? Like the concept being we have our fake low of daybreak on a lot of volume here. Longs are thinking, oh, it's a fake breakdown. Psych. Now we get our real big volume candle on that flush. That's what NUAI they are. Yeah, that's just not doing what I would want it to do, unfortunately. It should have held better than it did there. But again, I think as long as it holds over 165, we still have at least something to keep an eye on there. You guys, that concept makes sense. Does that concept of if we break down the fake breakdown, if we break out the fake breakout, it actually turns from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish? Just hit me with a yes in the chat if that's making sense, if that concept makes sense. Because you got to think, right? This is we're just going to turn this into a little bit of a review here. Then we're going to talk about TradeFunder. but it's a psychology game, right? It's just, I guess, really reverse psychology. I see a not sure in the chat. Okay, right. Well, hear me out, right? 90% of traders lose. Okay, we know that to be true. Why do 90% of traders lose? Well, because they buy breakouts, right? I mean, and I'm not saying buying breakouts is always bad. There are very, very rare scenarios where buying breakouts is great. I shouldn't say very, very rare. There are rare scenarios when buying breakouts is a really good thing to do, right? When it's a really strong daily chart, when it's got a real big reason to break out. But if you're just buying a random high a day break, that the company, you got to remember, a lot of these companies love to dilute. They love to sell into you when you buy the high a day break. That's where they're selling. It's when companies aren't selling, they've got a really good reason to break out, a really good reason to run. Stocks like Open, right, have this massive like audience behind them, right? So those type of breakouts are great. Your average everyday regular high a day breakout, not so much, right? I mean, that's when we get cases like NUAI, where it just everyone bought here. Clearly, everyone bought here because it's the highest volume candle, and they just got sold into, right? Wow. LAC falling further. Nice. So if we know, though, my point being, if we know that 90% of traders are wrong, right, and most people are buying here, that means the smart traders are selling here, normally with a lot of size. So if all of a sudden those big money traders that are selling into here, generally speaking, short selling, are now wrong, well, now they're going to have to cover and create massive volume to the upside. The same reason that if we go back to LAC, right? If most smart money traders are buying this dip because, again, it's that fake breakdown, they're bullish on it. If they then have to flip and sell, that's when we start getting this type of panic action that we're seeing here on LAC. Realistically, I probably covered this a little bit too early, to be completely honest with you. This is actually a way bigger move than I would have expected for this company. So nice, always good to learn and remind myself. But it's that concept that 90% of traders are wrong. We are going to go ahead and then flip. Cool. So that's that concept there. But anyways, guys, I'm out of my main trade for the day. As I told you, LAC short was kind of my main focus, and that idea I think played out gorgeously. 1 second, by the way. Hold on. Wanted to take one more look at BETR. Oof. Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good look for it. I'll tell you that right now. Let me just check here. Cool. So guys, this is leading to the end here for me. I'm going to go ahead and actually drop this link in the chat now just for you guys. Because we're talking about TradeFunder here. So ladies and gents, TradeFunder is the reason that I'm here today on this stream with you. Can I do this and then do this? Here we are. Again, TradeFunder, guys, for those of you guys who don't know, if you're new to this stream, TradeFunder is a fully funded trading account. This is going to be what gets you access to trading capital. So TradeFunder, they are a fully funded trading account. They partnered with Stocks to Trade, which I'm a part of. Stocks to Trade is a trading education company. We've been training traders for well over a decade now. In my opinion, one of the best in the business. And their goal was like, all right, well, we want traders trading our capital who are the most likely to make the most money. And so they partnered with us, which is really cool. And I'm really happy to be a partner with them here. So TradeFunder, guys, I'm going to drop this link in the chat for y'all right now. For those of you guys who are on Facebook or YouTube, you should be able to just see it right in the chat. If you're on Twitter, you're probably not going to see it. You're going to have to go over. Either you can type the link in that you're seeing on your screen. It's at tradefunder.com/stock-trader-instant-funding-Bryce. And it's going to get you access to a pretty huge discount for TradeFunder. So if you scroll down here, normally TradeFunder on their regular website goes for $1,400 plus that $99 platform fee. With our discount, it's going to be $800 plus that $99 platform fee. So it's about $600 off, which, I mean, $1,400 is already a good deal. But now, to be completely honest with you, if your first account doesn't go too well, right, which I hope it does. I hope it does go incredibly well. I hope you do great. But if, you make a mistake and you need to get another account, well, now you basically just saved the entire second account. You can go and take another attempt here. So that link that I dropped in the chat will bring you over to this page. You'll click get your stock funded account. You can get started in less than 90 seconds. And yes, it really is that quick. And guys, TradeFunder, we get asked all the time, what's their deal? They're partnered with T3. T3 is one of the largest prop trading groups in the country. Super legit. Most prop firms that are anything worth their salt will go through T3. And so TradeFunder itself, it's going to get you access to a $25,000 funded account that comes with up to $100,000 in buying power. Now, that $100,000 in buying power doesn't mean you can just go put 100 grand into one stock. They want you to be practicing good risk management, and they need to protect their money too. So they'll let you put up to $25,000 in up to 4 positions for that $100,000, or I guess $10,000 in 10 positions, if that's how you want to do it. But you get access to a lot of capital here is my point. And the really cool thing with TradeFunder is it's in their best interest for you to be successful. That's why they partnered with us here, so that I'm walking you through, showing you the best trades of the day every single day. So a stock like LAC, which is a large cap, easy to borrow, you're going to be able to take a trade like that on TradeFunder. And even though, it's a slow moving stock, it moved roughly 60, 70 cents a share today, which if you're using TradeFunder, have a $25,000 position, now we're talking about, $3,000 to $4,000 worth of profit potential right there. But as I was saying, it's in TradeFunder's best interest for you to make money. There is a profit split. They've got one of the best profit splits in the industry. Meaning most prop firms, they do anywhere between a 60-40 or a 70-30. TradeFunder does 80-20. You're not going to find that deal at basically any other prop firm. So what they want to see you do is make money consistently. If you're out here trying to hit home runs, you want to go max position size into everything, into one big stock and have one big win, I'm going to be honest with you, this probably isn't for you. This is for those of you who are looking to be consistent day in and day out. That's who this is for. So they do have some risk management rules in place. This is not only for their benefit because they don't want to lose all their money, it's also for yours. It's going to make you be a good trader. The best risk managers are the best traders. So this is the way it all works. Basically, they're going to give you up to $3,750 to lose. All you're putting in is $800. That is your maximum risk, is the money that you put into TradeFunder. They're going to bet about $3,000 on you extra to make sure that they understand, listen, $800, that loss could come in one trade. So they want to give you some extra wiggle room to make sure that you've got a real chance to be successful. Guys, this is a deal I wish I had access to. I shouldn't even say a deal. The deal itself is a great deal, but this is something that I wish I had access to when I first started trading. When I started trading out of my dorm room next door to Matt Monaco, and we had $2,000 accounts. We were scouring the internet for any way to get access to more money. We had to try to go to like sketchy overseas brokers that would give you like 10-to-1 leverage. And you never actually knew if you're going to get paid out. TradeFunder, you're going to get paid out. You just got to follow their risk management rules and their profit taking rules. You got to show some consistency. Again, you can go through here and check all the rules and everything with that link. Sorry, I just keep watching LAC. That's just a really nice move. But yeah, they're going to give you extra money to lose. And here's the deal. If you break that $3,750 drawdown, they are going to shut off your account. They do not want to lose all their $25,000, considering all you're putting in is $800. I think that's more than fair. And so as I always tell traders, man, you do not need to go out there and you don't need to go out there and try to be a hero. You don't need to go out there and take a $25,000 position if you're not ready to do that. If all you want to do is be able to actively trade and here and there be able to take, some $3,000 and $4,000 positions, then this is probably a great way to do that. For those of you that are already good traders and you just want access to more capital, here you go. But if you're still learning the ropes, there's no reason to be pushing their max drawdown anyways. Take small size, take the small wins. You got to prove consistency anyways. So do that with some small days. But yeah, guys, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is for each and every one of you, that this is the perfect solution. I think it is a phenomenal solution, but nothing's perfect. Let's be honest. So go ahead and click the link. I'm going to drop it in the chat and see if it's for you. If it is, click that button at the top of the screen right up here. It says get your funded stock account now. And by the way, as you become a better trader, they're going to give you access to more capital. Basically, when you break over that $15,000 threshold, once you make more than $15,000, they're going to reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to be trading with a bigger account? I know we've got some traders in the chat here who are trading with a $100,000 account, which is super cool. I'm seeing a question here. Bryce, can you trade from 4 to 7 a.m.? Yep. So really cool. So TradeFunder, it's a day trading account. You're not going to be able to swing trade with TradeFunder. But unlike most every other broker I see all the time, Bryce, why wouldn't I just go open up a Robinhood account? Why wouldn't I just go open up an E-Trade account, a Thinkorswim account? Most regular brokers are not going to let you trade at 4 in the morning. TradeFunder does, right? So you're going to be able to trade from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think that's more than enough time. So regardless of your schedule, you're going to be able to take trades, which is sweet. I personally love pre-market trading. I think there are a lot of great moves that happen. Although this morning I went on a run and went to the gym instead. A lot of times I will be taking some pre-market trades. Yeah, so I'm seeing Bryce, tell us about the PDT news. Yeah, so basically PDT, it looks like it might get changed here in anywhere from like 3 to 12 months. We really have no idea when that actual date is. But yeah, so they're going to change the PDT rule down to like $2,500, which, yeah, I mean, that's great. The truth is you can still only take very small positions. This is great, again, for traders that, and first of all, that's still quite some time away. But second of all, yeah, I mean, listen, if you want access to bigger money, I think that PDT rule is going to bring a lot more liquidity into the market. But yeah, I'm also seeing some questions about locates. Yeah, so you can't short hard to borrow stocks on TradeFunder. You can short larger cap stocks, easy to borrow stocks. I'd say roughly, anywhere from 30 to 40% of the trades I take anyways are easy to borrow. But again, it's really more for the trader who is just looking to be consistent and take those trades day after day. So I see a lot of questions come through, a lot of technical stuff coming through the chat, technical questions. Guys, what I would encourage you to do, TradeFunder's got a great support line. Go over here onto the link. They've got a bunch of questions, right? They've got a huge list of frequently asked questions. You can also, you can also go and just email their support team right here, support@tradefunder.com. They're going to get back to you super quickly. They're incredibly responsive. They're a great team. I've been very fortunate to become good friends with the owner, Christian. Great guy, great team. And they're going to get back to you ASAP. So if you got any technical questions, go and email them. If you want to just check out the rules, check out some FAQs, this feels right for you, click that Get Your Funded Account Now button. Again, I'll drop that link in the chat one more time. There you go. So, ladies and gents, I got to get going, though. I really got to hit the bathroom. A little bit too much coffee this morning, I suppose. So, I'm going to head over there. And, guys, this is the end of the week. It's been a pleasure working with you guys again today. We'll be back here on Monday. Hopefully, I can get Monaco around. But, again, I know he was busy this morning. So, I'm glad I could be here with you regardless. And, yeah, click that link in the chat. That's your homework for the day, your homework for the weekend. You will... You'll be able to have all your questions answered on that link and see if it's the right fit for you. Everybody, have a good rest of your weekend. Have a great Friday. I hope you guys are all trading well, trading smart, and trading safe. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.